Right, YouTube, it's Shadow King Kenaju, and I'm back to do. Excuse me. I'm back to do a review of She-Hulk episode 5. A quick addendum. It turns out I made a mistake in my last review. I thought that uh, the previous episode was written by Dana Schwartz, who I was highly concerned about because she's made a lot of sexist comments towards men on social media, and feel like she was that like in typical Disney Marvel writers fashion, they were gonna insert this kind of stuff into the actual story. It was going to be very off-putting to the audience. But no, it turns out this wasn't written by her. It was written by another woman. I believe her name was Christina Horn. Um, which was the episode was still bad, but it wasn't insufferable. This, so I thought that maybe Dana Schwartz learned a little bit of self-restraint. But no, this wasn't her. However, this episode was officially written by Dana Schwartz, and it's exactly what I thought it would be, and worse. Let's get into it, shall we? We start off with Titania showing off her beauty products and labeled She-Hulk. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention in the video that uh, that Titania was suing Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk, due to trademarking her superhero name. Because She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, the lawyer, the superhero lawyer, was too stupid and short-sighted to have trademarked her own name. And yet she complains about incompetent men explaining her field of expertise to her. Maybe the reason why they're explaining your field of expertise to you is because you suck at it, idiot. So, like I was saying, Titania is selling a lot of She-Hulk related products. She-Hulk lipstick, She-Hulk uh, eyelash extenders, She-Hulk booty smoothie. What is that supposed to be? A smoothie that's supposed to make women's butt bigger? I suppose Megan Thee Stallion, or she should be more called Megan the Man, will be the first one to drink that product and start twerking. but we, but Jen and her Latina friend, whose name I can't be bothered to remember, because there's not really much to her for me to care enough to look up what her name is, because she's just made to be diverse best friend who validates She-Hulk. Yeah, but they arrive at this at at Titania's Expo to say that to tell Titania to stop using the She-Hulk name and recall all these products. But Titania says that they can't do that because it's trademark. And even later on, not too far off, her Jen's cousin, not Bruce Banner, he's in space, but her other cousin, the guy who works at the as Best Buy as a manager, he understands how trademarking works compared to She-Hulk, which is just pathetic. Yeah, the trademark works is that whoever comes first gets it. They can sign a trademark agreement, and they own the rights to that name. So pretty much, despite being a villain, Titania is in the right. She's doing everything legally, and but I just to go on a quick tangent bit. Isn't it kind of sad that I mean a lot of normal people and just MC fans of the MCU probably don't care because they don't read the comics. But for the comic fans, isn't it just sad that Titania, who I originally thought was named Titania, uh, went this from being a small and scrawny girl who even got to be mocked, called Skeeter, and tried to find any form of self-worth, even lying, saying she was Spider-Woman just to get some validation from her peers. And one thing led to another, and she ended up in the Secret Wars and got superpowers from Doctor Doom and became this superpowered, strong, ruthless criminal, and married the Absorbing Man and became one of the leaders of the Wrecking Crew. And we're going from a character as cool as that to basically Paris Hilton with superpowers. Anyway, Latino best friend is asked by the other male lawyer, not the sexist lawyer from She-Hulk's old firm, but the other guy who's kind of a soy boy. He asked her to have one of the favor to get some shoes, and she says she's into it if she can get like a suit, get a new suit. And you figure, oh, maybe she's finally gonna have her own subplot. I mean, it's not exactly interesting, but at least it'll be something that doesn't have to involve around having She-Hulk be the center of Latino best friends universe. But no, it's just to get a suit for She-Hulk, uh, either a superhero suit or a lawyer suit. And I guess she does kind of need it because it just looks very, very. Look, the suit doesn't fit one she look. It makes her looks either looks too tall or too mannish for her. And it involves them going at first to a to this broker who's selling off bootleg Avengers products, and they said they'll meet the real guy who's a who can make the superhero suit. Now the real thing is that why don't you just go to a tailor? A tailor's job uh, is to make a suit especially fitting for you. And considering that She-Hulk at this point doesn't want to be a superhero, it's not going to require that much. I mean, she's only 6'7" and right, have a. I mean, despite her how much actual muscles she has, she has still an athletic build. So just build it, just make a suit around for that. It's not that uncommon. But no, we got to meet this special guy who makes suits for superheroes, and the guy who does it is the most stereotypical fashion designer you've ever seen. And they even go so far as to make him a gay diva, a gay black diva. Think of Edna Mode from The Incredibles, except he's male, uh, and he's not funny, he's not witty, and he's not charming. And visually he's not interested in doing the suit, but he says that he's willing to take the challenge for uh because the She-Hulk is able to change her size from going from human form to Hulk form. And going back to She-Hulk, um, her boss is upset that that they're in the middle of a lawsuit action, and kind of complains that She-Hulk wasn't smart enough to make sure her name was trademarked before she was hired. And She-Hulk says she's gonna fix this, but they said no. We're gonna have another lawyer fix it, and they bring in Brooke. She's that black lady who made a brief appearance in episode 3, and the misogynist lawyer was kind of hitting on her for saying that she might be his potential fiance. Yeah, she says she's gonna represent She-Hulk, and she says, "Thank God you were smart enough not to represent yourself." Well, no, she actually was going to try to represent herself, and it would have blown up in her face. And she says, "Why didn't you try to trademark your superhero name?" And this part actually got a chuckle from me, but it didn't get a chuckle from me for the reasons that Dennis Schwartz and the other writers probably thought it would. They said, Oh, I didn't think it was necessary. Uh, did Doctor Strange need to trademark his name? Did Thor? And Brooke says, you literally just named superheroes who use their actual names for their superhero names. Oh, take that, Jason Aaron, and your Jane Foster Thor. Oh man, it just sticks it all the way to that Jane Foster Thor arc, which is awful, and as well as Thor: Love and Thunder, which was an adaptation of that storyline. So garbage. Uh, but yeah, but yeah, they decide to take the case and try to make the defense. Um, Tit- Titania keeps bringing out that she was the one who legally trademarked it, which means she still has that point. So what she's still doing is not a crime. Um, it's a jerk move, but it's still not illegal. However, She-Hulk and her and Brooke try to argue that She-Hulk has been using the name longer and that Titania is merely marking off the identity. An identity that She-Hulk has does not said that she's not careful. She didn't even name herself that. Other people have named her that. And to get further proof of this, they instead of doing something simple like getting camera footage of people calling her She-Hulk or her saying She-Hulk herself, they get all the men that she dated back in the last episode, and all of them basically just talk about how mediocre experience they had with her, except for the doctor guy who who in the last episode, last video, I said that he could easily humiliate She-Hulk with all the experiences of theirs during their times having sex last night or whatever, and just get all the juicy bits that could uh, embarrass She-Hulk and create some actual comedy. But no, he just says they had a wonderful time. She was great and smart. The sex was good, but just Jennifer Walters is not my type. You literally had a hanging fruit right in front of you. The easiest joke that could have been done for you. It could have been an easy win, and you blew it. I should have expected nothing less from the She-Hulk writing team. Good job, Jessica Gal. Um, but yeah, ultimately they decide that uh, the judge decides to be in favor of She-Hulk and tells Titania to recall all the items and stop using the She-Hulk name. And also, one of the guys that She-Hulk was dating decides to pursue Titania. Oh yeah, and also Brooke starts emotionally validating She-Hulk because yeah, that's what a narcissist needs. I much preferred it back when uh, Brooke was criticizing She-Hulk because I feel like She-Hulk was going to actually learn a bit of humility and actually had to develop as a person and a character. But now we're just backpedaling on that and just saying she's awesome and also say how much men suck. Uh, Saying that women have to do so much to get even just the mediocre guys, and say you could have superpowers and a guy on the internet would still think he could do better than you. I don't think you understand what men look for in a woman. What is superpowers going to bring to the table? Sure, you being tall and attractive and super strong will be good for sex, but what is it gonna do for a long term relationship? Is it gonna make you a better wife? Is it gonna help you produce more children so the bloodline can continue? Is it going to make you a better mother? Because if it's not doing any of these things, then men aren't going to be all that interested. And then we cut to She-Hulk meeting the gay fashion diva. And he's got the suit ready, and she's gonna try that on, but the audience doesn't get to see that. It's a baiting switch, so the audience will be forced to watch the next episode. Now chances are it'll either be that that kind of that outfit that celebrities would wear to the Oscars, or it could be some variation of her superhero outfit from the comics, which we have both seen both of them in the trailers. Oh, and also we got a small Easter egg of the Daredevil helmet, which is supposed to be which probably suggesting that Daredevil is going to be in tomorrow's episode. This episode was, I mean, it seems like I was blitzing through this, and that's because this episode was really, really boring, almost as boring as episode two. Uh, I mean, it really is frustrating to see She-Hulk be this inept as a lawyer, and it also makes her a massive hypocrite for complaining about uh, men mansplaining her job to her, yet she doesn't know how the law works, and saying that she's better at controlling her anger. Yet when she's thinking about her name being trademarked and profited on, she's so frustrated that she's subconsciously crushing a stapler with her bare hands. Yeah, real great control there, Jen. Uh, they also seeing Jen and Brooke complaining about the men that Jen dated, saying that these were the best she could do. You had dozens of people available to date you for when you decided to promote yourself as She-Hulk on the date matching app. Yet you picked like the first what 5 people that showed up on your app instead of just like going through all these dozens of people and trying to be a bit more discerning. So this is pretty much your own fault. Uh, you see, with this kind of incompetent writing, I don't know how people can be excited for Daredevil showing up. I haven't personally seen the Netflix Daredevil show, but I've heard it's pretty good and it's dark and gritty, which does fit the tone of the comics. But they said but Charlie Cox said he's gonna go with a lighter tone. He basically had to rework his character. So this is basically just an alternate universe version, especially with the fact that they said that Charlie Cox said they're gonna be ignoring the Netflix's series for Daredevil Reborn. Yeah, that's just creates a whole lot of vote of confidence. So yeah, this episode was like the previous four were complete garbage. And and if you think that this show is good or that it'll get good uh, in the next 4 episodes, you're deluding yourself. The show is a dumpster fire, and it's just a sign. It's just another sign that the MCU is dead. This show isn't made for isn't made for MCU longtime MCU fans because it contradicts things that were established in the previous MCU entries, and it insults the legacy characters. It wasn't made for comic book fans because they're not treating these characters how they were in the comics, and they even make and the best you can get is like a minor references, and they'll treat it like a joke, like, "Oh, we could do what we're doing is much better than what you had in the comics," even though it's not, and it's not for casual audiences unless you're like a Twitter person just consumes and waits for the next product because it's not funny. The action is abysmal. The storylines aren't all that engaging. The characters are the most narcissistic, hypocritical, oblivious, obnoxious, obtuse people you meet. The only people I feel like this show was made for was the writers and the showrunners, because these are the only people who are just this vile enough to actually relate to it. Uh, I think I've talked about this episode long enough. I got other things to do. I'll catch you more later.